Hello, listeners. It's been a while. Finals at college are tough, so to speak. But welcome back, and today we're going to be talking about fossils. So, I'm guessing of our group, I'm the expert here when it comes to fossils.
100%.
Fossils,
I have not even done any
bones.
research. As you guys know, I've been going through it,
Yes.
so
You know, Ren, me and you, we're completely boned here.
Completely.
technically they're not actually bones.
Just
though.
straight up
They're
accepts
fossils.
it.
They are bones. That's all I know about them. And if that's not true, then I don't know what I'm gonna do here.
Or unfortunate. It's technically yes and no for the bones. It's what's left of the bones.
It's like degraded bones.
Kinda, yeah.
I'm pretty
I
sure
don't
isn't it just like generally it is stone, but it's got like the calcium from the bones in it still and stuff, like certain minerals from the bones.
Yeah, it's mainly the calcium imbued with
I
the
see.
all that stuff.
So it's slightly different type of rock,
Yeah, basically.
which is able to be separated from other rock, and so we can actually extract them.
The rock.
Mhm. Yeah.
Rock and stone.
Walking Stone. Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
You all concern me.
No, we don't.
There. Okay.
You
So this is gonna be
genuinely
We are only 2 minutes in, and I'm already gonna get us off topic.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go.
We're coming back with a vengeance, baby.
Okay.
There's a
So
fucking.
what if
Oh.
every single fossil came to life and started attacking people?
I was gonna say something about Dwayne.
that's basically actually a horror zombie apocalypse scenario that has been gone over by people before because of how terrifying that is.
That does sound pretty scary. Have they made a movie about it?
No, not that I know of. But yeah, no, it's something I find interesting. Definitely,
God,
like
I keep
the
thinking
concept
of
that
D&D.
Did you say you
D&D
keep thinking
nerd
of
be like-
D&D?
Yeah, like I don't know, I don't know, a D&D brained right now. It's just working on a campaign.
Yeah. What I was gonna say after I made a joke about Dwayne the Rock Johnson was not related to this at all, so maybe I shouldn't be saying it anyway. But there's a fucking, I think it's a raid in Destiny 2. And the enemy is literally named Dwayne. The boss is named Dwayne. And if you look at the official
We are
raid,
very often.
if you look at the official raid layout, like on the official site, it's a picture of Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Why?
Fossils!
Fossils. We're not talking about Dwayne.
Fossils.
Is there any specific thing you want to talk about, Cameron, about fossils?
Wow, my mind's kind of fried today. Unfortunately, I was mowing the lawn.
What's your
for, like,
favorite
a few
thing about
hours.
fossils? Favorite thing?
They're fascinating, just like records of time long forgotten and long past. Quite fun. Like,
You have a
it's so
favorite
interesting to
fossil?
think that these used to be from either ancestors or something else. It's interesting.
I think that
Personally,
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, you.
No, you.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, you. I said. Go.
I think.
No,
Go.
really, you can go ahead.
You
now.
can do it. It's like two people like arguing over who's gonna go through the door first.
Cameron's going ahead.
It's like
I've chosen.
Canadians. No, I'm a Canadian. I cannot go ahead.
I was planning on going ahead anyway after Cameron insisted for the
okay.
6th time. I feel like archaeology in general is really interesting. Just because of what you said. Like, you can, like, sure, like the study of history in general is also interesting, but archaeology, you get to like touch it. Like you get to actually see it, and you
Hmm.
can like physically interact with like, say, like ancient arrowheads or fossils or
Yeah.
like ancient pottery, stuff like that, ancient armor, stuff like that. Like that's
Hmm.
really cool.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. Very,
Oswald sounds so
very
enthusiastic.
interesting.
I'm not at all a history buff. I guess there are some things that are like, oh, this is really fascinating, and like occasionally you'll get like a weird thing about history that you're like, ooh, that's really cool, like the Emu
Yeah,
Wars,
yeah.
like the Emu Wars.
Exactly. I did
Yeah.
I did an assignment like where we could choose whatever we wanted to talk about. But I talked about like the history of board games, which I didn't need to, but like
Hmm.
history is interesting in some parts.
Yeah. I
Bro.
feel like a
But,
lot
like
of
other
what
than that,
I feel like a lot of what's taught in high school and in school in general is not very interesting though.
yeah,
That
I don't
is
know.
true.
Like I
School
history
needs to step up their game.
history was always my least favorite class throughout all of school. Or at least all of high school. Just because I don't know, the things that they were teaching us didn't seem very interesting, and I understand why they have to, but like
Yeah.
there's so much just fascinating stuff that you could talk about, and they just choose not to.
Hmm. Yeah, like there's so many things that I wish we could that's why I wish we could choose to learn about stuff. Like fossils would be amazing to learn about as a kid.
Yeah. And like on top of that, it would 100% like foster a love of something in a child, because a lot of people will get through high school and still not know what they want to do. And I think
I
that
rem-
Mhm.
I think that I think that more people would know what they have a passion for, um, and
Oh yeah,
what they
definitely.
want to do if they um if high school especially, and even by extension middle school,
Mhm.
were laid out more similar to college, where you get to pick your classes, which I guess high school you do get to pick your classes to an extent, but they don't have a lot of like
Yeah.
super interesting stuff besides like I liked creative writing when I
Hmm.
took that
Creative writing was
sophomore
fun.
year. Creative writing was a lot of fun, but like I guess to an extent both, or at least high school does that, but they really need to expand the
Mhm.
horizons of what they use for classes, for like class subjects, um because what high school
Yeah.
should be is it should be, yes, it should be a stepping stone up into college, which is what a lot of high school is treated as, um but it should also be a stepping stone into the rest of your life. It should be a stepping stone into figuring out who you are, and
Mhm.
wanting and fostering a passion for some specific subject in a person.
Yeah.
I'd
Wow, I feel
personally,
like we've gone. Oh.
We're talking about
But
school now. Wow, we're so
I
good.
I personally did not just like I did not discover like programming much in high school. It was more other stuff that did that.
Yeah, and I mean the timeline for everybody is going to be a little bit different. But I feel like for
yeah.
most people, the thing that like high school is going to be one of the biggest things that, and I mean I guess I wasn't thinking about it, but that kind of proves our point. What if high school did have programming classes and like stuff that you could do, follow the thing that you love doing? Like that would have been great.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What I was gonna
That
say,
would be.
as you were while you were still talking about fossils, was I do remember in middle school or maybe it was elementary school, I forget. We did go on a field trip to like
Don't
a
mention the name of
place where
it
you could find fossils. I
because
think.
it's near where we are somewhat.
Mhm. Yeah.
I
I
don't know
can't
what
say
the
it, but
place
there
was
is a
called.
fossil site that I've been
It
trying to
might
get
have been
y'all
that
to go
one.
to
It might have been that
near
one.
us. It could
Did my
have
internet
been.
connection go to shit?
Anyway, I don't think I found many fossils because
I found a good amount. Actually, I've gone there multiple times. I've found stuff. It's really fascinating just to even like see fossils who have them. Like, I enjoy it. It's pieces of our history. It's fascinating how they're preserved, and I guess this episode is going to be more history related, maybe, than fossil.
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like we could go either way about it.
What's the biggest fossil ever found?
That's a good question.
They found some
That's
pretty
a good
big
question.
dinosaur fossils.
Like intact or in pieces?
Intact. Or whatever you know. Better.
There's a lot of different ones. They're never always in one piece. It's hard to say. There's a lot. But if it's one single piece, the largest one they found probably is some sort of skull or poop.
I went to look it up and
Like-
I got some responses about the size of a dinosaur fossil that they found, but I don't think I would be. But that's not like one continuous
Mhm.
structure.
Yeah, I don't think any of them are though, according to Cameron.
I mean, like,
Yeah, it's
when you're
like, and we never know if we get the right things too. Like for skeletons put back together, we never know if they're properly put back together because we don't really know what the animal was.
I wonder if they've ever mixed up like two different dinosaur
Oh,
species.
they
or
have
just happened to
actually.
be in this. That's funny.
It was two of the larger ones. I think it was like Brontosaurus and something else.
yeah. Oh, I used to know this.
Rhinoceros or something. Dreadnoughtus, maybe? I don't remember.
Notice.
Like, in terms of biggest full skeleton ever found, it might be a Dreadnoughtus, because those are the biggest things we've found traces of. That or a Mosasaur, because those are it's a ridiculous. It's not technically a dinosaur, but it's massive.
Is it like which one is that again? I probably don't even know what it is in the first place.
Think a whale, but with a more pointed snout and a lot of teeth.
Oh, okay.
And 4 flippers.
That's terrifying.
Exactly. You know, it's kind of fascinating knowing all this. Just like finding out more about the history through fossils, fossilized stuff, and buried things. So I'm guessing this is going to be more of an archaeology episode, maybe.
Yeah, that's kind of what
Archaeology is
I
not
was
history. Which means we can spend talking about like wars and grave robbing and all that stuff.
Grave robbing. And which one of Badger's crew was it that was like, I think it was Heavenly, that goes
Forbidden archaeology.
It's always Heavenly.
It's always fucking Heavenly, yeah. No, but he goes, that's why I'm pro grave robbery. They're not using it anymore.
Oh my god. That's crazy.
That's wild.
It's fucking Heavenly. What did you expect?
That is fair.
Yeah, hasn't most like the Egyptian pyramids already been looted?
Oh yeah, no, they've been grave robbed, looted, all that good stuff.
Have you seen those pictures where it's like the pyramids in comparison to where is it that they're next to? It's not Cairo.
Insert city name here.
Yeah, insert city name here.
Okay.
Really? Insert city name here? Didn't know anyone told me
Where
that.
are the Egyptian pyramids?
Oh yeah, like the pictures where it just shows
Egypt?
like the angle that shows.
Oh,
like,
they're
a city next
no,
to
I
it.
know they're in Egypt. Giza. I'm on the outskirts of Cairo. I was
Giza.
right.
The pyramids of Giza.
I was right. They're on the
Did you
outskirts
say
of
it
Cairo.
wasn't Cairo?
Yeah, Cairo was the one that I said. Have you
Well,
seen those
didn't you say it
pictures where
wasn't
it's
that?
huh?
You were like, it's not Cairo.
Yeah, well that was like a I don't think it's Cairo.
Yeah, but never mind.
I just looked it up and it is Cairo.
So you were wrong.
I was incorrect. Well, yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Have you seen those pictures where it's like the pyramids next to Cairo? You know, there's this whole meme about how like because they're literally right there. The city is right there. It's a 15-minute
that's
walk. There's a joke about how there's a Pizza Hut within a 7-minute walk of the pyramids.
is there?
I don't know if it's real or not. If like that's a real thing or not, but I saw a meme about it.
That'd be
I
wild
mean, that
if
looks
it
pretty
was.
close to the. That is really close to the city. I wouldn't
Yeah,
be
they're literally
surprised.
right there.
Yeah, like
So like
we
when
are kind of getting rid of our history, all our buried stuff by progress, but also digging it up and stealing it. Cough. We kind of hate the British here for that. Cough.
British.
British people
I
aren't
feel like
real.
everyone should rob the British Museum just to get their stuff back.
That's really funny.
Yeah, we should organize a worldwide robbing of the British
Oh
Museum.
my god! I was looking up like pictures of the pyramids, and I got new discovery in the Giza pyramid shocks the world, and it's like a picture of like a nuclear reactor.
What?
Or like something. Look at the futuristic looking thing.
I mean,
it's not real.
we learned so much by uncovering things, even like in small, simple villages. If you uncover something there, there's some crazy history. That's how they discovered like this one old god that was a combination between Greek and Roman. Not Greek and Roman. Greek and Egyptian. Like
Jupiter.
basically, like we discovered that. Oh yeah, the Greeks/Romans did conquer Egypt at one time and influenced some of their gods there and made new ones with combinations of old ones.
Yeah.
Fascinating, honestly. Like, we still don't know if some things in history that are just word of mouth or by book, we don't know if they're real because we haven't found evidence of them yet, but that doesn't mean the evidence doesn't exist. So for all we know, Troy could have been the Battle of Troy could have been a real thing. The Alad could have been
Yeah.
realistic. Not to mention, like, we haven't found evidence of mythical creatures such as dragons or Gryphons or so many other things, but they could be real. And also those who don't know better might mistake bones of dinosaurs for things like a griffin skull, which has happened before.
I wonder if that's where like the idea of dragons came from, where people just like found fossils.
I think the idea of dragons came from people like a good big monster, but also things like Komodo dragons and so
Yeah.
many other things exist.
Yeah, that would be my guess. And I think we've talked about this before. And by think I mean no, we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
You know what
It's
I
just
find
fascinating, everything.
you know what I find really interesting is Native American history.
Yes, I usually just say indigenous people, to be honest.
Yeah. I don't know enough about it to be like speaking in depth on it, but like because of the way that we treated the indigenous peoples, or I say we, I mean like the settlers, just like so much of their history was completely ignored. Like so much of what they teach each other, what their history is, was completely ignored. And that goes
Ignored,
for
lost.
ignored, was lost, was destroyed even. And I don't know, because like you think of like I remember reading like a lot of like books, or my mom would read books to us like growing up, where like a character is like walking along the beach or something, like a pebble beach, and like they find like an arrowhead,
Mhm.
And like that's such a cool concept that you can just find like a piece of history like that. Like that doesn't really happen anymore. That more
Oh yeah,
happened
no,
like
it's
back when
fascinating.
those books were written. But like back
Mhm.
before everything was so not industrialized because it was somewhat industrialized, but like before everything was what's the
Devoured, destroyed, taken over.
yeah, but like back before not settled, but like back before there were so many houses, back when there were so much just like open land, um, and just like forests and stuff like that. Um,
Mhm.
it it really like you could just do that in like certain places. Like you could just like walk along the beach or through the forest and like find like literally a piece of
Yeah,
history.
and there are still some places, but they're carefully regulated, and you cannot take stuff from them.
Yeah, which is how it should be.
I feel like an arrowhead would get buried pretty easily, though.
Yeah, that's true, but like still there
Unless it's
are
on like a rock, like stone, like peak of a mountain or stone surface.
yeah, I mean that's what I had said was like the pebble beaches. Those are the places that people would usually find something like that unless they're specifically looking for them.
Mhm. True, but like it's just fascinating things you find, and like sea glass is another example actually. Like people are trying to make it artificially now because you can't find much of it anymore because it's all been like taken by people.
I heard sea
Maybe.
glass, and the thing I thought that you were I
Yep.
thought what I thought you were gonna go on about was people losing glass in the sea. And then my next thought was the fucking British or not the British, the Boston Tea Harbor.
Oh my god.
Boston Tea Party?
That's the when they dumped the tea in the harbor. I don't remember what it's called.
Mhm.
Boston Tea Party, whatever it was.
Maybe in the
Boston Tea Party,
future,
yeah.
I called it Tea
instead of
Harbor.
looking for instead of looking for sea glass, we'll be looking for sea plastic.
Sea plastic. That's not difficult to find though.
That's just water.
Yeah, that's really sad.
Oh, yeah. Did you know
Yeah,
that
like it's
um
crazy how different our world is.
yeah, it is. How much it's changed over the past like I mean,
2 years.
yeah, really. Like over the past 5 years even, like just since COVID. But like I was gonna say in the past 100
Yeah.
years, but like even like the past 50, past 20, past 5, like things just
Mhm.
keep changing.
Exponential growth.
Yep. What was I gonna
Yeah.
say? Oh, microplastics. Did you know that by the end of your lifetime, you will have enough microplastics in your brain to make a small plastic spoon?
Oh, probably,
Yay!
yeah.
That's the statistics that I saw, at
Because
least.
we're slowly poisoning ourselves and the world around us.
How does it get into your brain?
I don't know. They're microplastics. They get everywhere.
They really
So
do.
maybe it would get into your bloodstream first. That's the only
Yeah,
way.
that's what I think. I mean,
Like
they're
Yum.
literally
we
yum.
affect the
I
world around
love
us, and
microplastics. When I die, I want somebody to make a plastic spoon out of my brain microplastics.
oh my god, Jesus.
Oh
Make a Lego brick out of it.
no! It still doesn't
Also,
seem very plausible. I don't know.
No, it feels like you would know if there was that much, but I that was a
Yeah,
statistic.
yeah.
That was the statistic that I saw at least. It could be incorrect, but that's like the statistic that I
you're
saw in
not
passing.
wrong. That's the thing, though. You're not wrong about that. Like, there's a lot
I
of microplastics in our system even now.
I hear Cosmo looking it up.
yeah, I'm looking at it. How much is a microgram?
Very
Microgram,
small,
very small.
I think. Well, now I'm looking it up.
4,800
Everyone's looking it up.
micrograms per gram, or 0.48% by weight.
0.48%, you said?
Oh, I see the same statistic here.
Yeah.
Hmm. How much?
I'm seeing
Heavy.
so I'm seeing you said 0.48% of it. Hold on. How heavy is the brain?
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing.
I believe it's 3 pounds. Yeah, it is.
It is 3 pounds. That's 1.44 grams. That's a little less than a plastic spoon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean, like, but still, it's a ridiculous amount to have in your system, and the way we affect the world around us is changing how people will see it in the future, which I find fascinating.
yeah.
Honestly, like, it's interesting how we've caused so much to change to be affected. And like, I wish we wouldn't change the world too much because it gets sad eventually. Like, we start losing things that are important.
We do start losing things. Everybody looks towards the future without reminiscing on the past. And I have to say that at least
Yes.
personally, there is only so much reminiscing on the past you should be doing, at least of negative things.
Yeah.
But you should always remember where you came from. Because that will help you grow. And I feel like at some point we are going to end up erasing such a large portion of history. I mean, we already have. Hold on, let me look up the statistic. What
4
percent,
languages die a day, apparently.
what percent of history
I'm not
has
surprised.
been
You know what
lost?
else? We kill more species than we discover by a massive amount. Like, we don't know most of the species because they're extinct before we can get to them.
All right, it says around 95 to 99% of history is lost or unrecorded, but that's a lot. That's just all of human history. So, like, I guess
Yeah.
so. That's literally, if you choose to believe the evolution theory, at least, which I don't know how I feel about any of that shit anyway. But that's a topic for another day. That's literally millions of years of lost history, which I guess makes sense. But like, I wonder what percentage of recorded history has been lost.
Yeah.
Well, there's like the fact that like we weren't able to record history until a time, right? And then there's also the fact that you can't record everything that happens in history.
Yeah.
Yeah, and another way we lose stuff actually is that when and historians really love the boring people write every single thing down that they do because of this. But so we didn't know how to make Roman cement until recently. Because it says add water and it was not working for us. Wanna know why? Because it's seawater. Now Roman knows this because you live right by the sea. We don't because we didn't think of that because we're not dumb. We don't. It's not something we just genuinely know. So just common knowledge stuff that's not written down is also lost a lot.
Yeah, no one thinks to write down common knowledge.
Yeah.
Unless you're one of those really boring people.
But like, I mean, these days we're recording more than ever, although it is in like computer form, so it's probably really easy to lose.
Yeah. Well, the
Comparatively.
other thing is, and I don't know if we want to bother starting to opening this can of worms, but I've seen not statistics, but I've seen stuff about Neil deGrasse Tyson claiming that there's going to be a end of the internet era once a significant percentage of news articles are AI generated, are false news and are AI generated.
That's true.
So,
but I mean, there's other uses for the internet other than like news.
Yeah, but
so it's not. Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like there's going to be a point at which, at least if that theory is true, which I'm a little hesitant to believe because I don't think that like actual news telling is ever going to go out of business. Um,
Yeah.
but there
Like
is theoretically going to be a threshold
such.
where so much of what we have recorded for the future to look at is just not true.
Mhm.
It's just not true.
Yeah.
And I mean, even
Oh,
looking
we're
at
already so close to there.
I was gonna say, I guess I was saying like, oh, we're not that close to that,
We
but we are. Like, if you look at Google, that's
We're
what people
at
use
that.
to look at things. Um,
like it's
and
instead of
the
recording.
first thing you get is the AI overview, and that is not 100% accurate
Mhm.
by any means.
Oh, it's not accurate at all.
So
That means the percentage. So we'd be recording like 1,000% of human history, except only 2% is actually real.
Mhm.
yeah, which is honestly scary to think about. That we're gonna have so much just false history.
Yep.
Like, imagine thousands of years, like 1,000 years down the road, somebody uncovers the internet. Not that it's likely to go out of like, but somebody
yeah.
uncovers like for them an ancient document on the internet.
Ancient like server.
Yeah, and there's
And-
just so much false
yeah.
information there, and they draw conclusions about. I mean, I guess you could
Mhm.
argue that people draw conclusions anyway because, like, for a lot of history, a lot of it just wasn't recorded.
Yeah, I mean we draw
Yeah.
conclusions from earlier things.
Like
Our
fossils.
issue is that there's not enough recorded, but in the future it will be the issue of
There's
what's real and what's not.
What's real and what's not real. Yeah,
Mhm.
which is interesting to think about.
Interesting, but also sad.
It is definitely saddening.
Triste.
Like, it's definitely strange the world we live in, and how much we lose because of it, and how we act.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely a strange thing, and I wish we'd maybe explore this like a bit more, like scientists exploring why do we just lose so much? Like, why do we just get rid of it?
I feel like scientists somewhere working on like trying to figure out, like, you know, archaeologists are trying to figure out constantly what's happened in the past. I don't think that's gonna stop anytime soon.
No, but
I mean,
but we're
possibly
looking
in America it might.
at what I was thinking is, as we've already stated, so much of everything is looking towards the future with no regard for the past.
That's true.
So like you're
Mhm.
saying, yes, archaeology continues to look at the past. Yes, archaeology and history do. Those studies do. But pretty much every single other science is
Yeah.
looking towards the future. So that is 1 against 100 or 2 against 100. So
Yeah.
like there will be a point at which the past is, I can't say there will be a point at which the past is ignored, because I don't think that will ever actually be the case. But we are just going to continue to lose things, a larger and larger percentage, maybe not a larger percentage of history, but
Mhm.
I feel like while we are recording so much in the modern day, as I said, a lot of it is false
We're also
information.
losing so much, and it's just so filled with false stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so falsified.
It's hard for us to do things right, so to speak.
Remember when we were going to talk about fossils?
Not as
I did say it's
technically
turning to
fossils
more
at all.
archaeology
Yeah,
and history.
expanding to archaeology and history, yeah.
Digital fossils.
Digital fossils.
That would be a fancy term.
That would be a fancy term.
That's what we call those brick computers or those brick phones.
Have you seen those like original plans from Apple? I think it was Apple for that modular phone that they had an idea for.
Modular phone. Oh god.
Like you add attachments.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just like a base
That's-
it was like a base with like whatever, and then you add a screen on the front and you add attachments on the back that have like it's just like bricks, but like you have like a a motherboard brick that is like mandatory, and then you can add a camera brick, and you have a battery brick, and you have a memory brick, and you have like a
Mhm.
storage brick or whatever. You have all the different
That sounds
bricks.
like a
That
nightmare.
could be interesting.
I know
And-
it looks like such a cool idea because it's every single phone of that model is completely customizable.
But you know what's cheaper? I mean, do you know what's cheap? Makes more money. Is when you put everything in one phone and you refuse to let people change out parts.
Oh god. 1 second, guys. There's a bug on my computer.
A bug. We've talked about bugs before.
You've been having some ant issues.
Oh, I thought you meant like a
Oh, yeah.
literal physical bug.
That's what I said. An
Oh.
ant. It's
Oh,
a literal physical bug.
oh, I thought you meant like your computer was bugging out because you said something about having issues, and I was like, hold on. I thought you meant
No.
a literal bug. You did mean a
I had a
literal bug. I'm just
yeah, I
stupid.
had a literal bug.
Oh my god, did any of you guys have hex bugs as a kid?
Oh my gosh, I
Oh,
did
I
not
had
have
tons
them,
of
but
those.
some of my friends did, and I
I had a
remember
ton of
seeing
them.
them.
I had a couple. I don't know where those are.
I had something that was like it was like a little mechanical hamster that like ran around in circles.
Oh, I remember those.
You remember those?
Think
Yeah.
I remember those. What if I still have them?
I remember those.
I
As
remember
the blind
those
man.
days. We're talking about history.
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 Recent history.
It is technically history to some people, which is kind of sad. Not gonna
Womp
lie.
womp.
Did you just say womp womp?
I mean, everything's technically history once it happens.
I
Technically.
mean, yeah, but you don't gotta say womp womp.
Womp womp. Honestly, skill issue.
Bruh.
Exactly.
Bruh.
No, it's crazy to think that there are people growing up right now that don't know what some of the stuff that we grew up with is.
Oh yeah, no, like
Like, I mean, on
the
stream, yes,
look on someone's face when I told them Minecraft used to not have horses or hunger, you had to hold one pork chop. You can only hold one pork chop at a time. Their face was I swear I feel so old.
I never played
I'm only
that version of the
20.
game. I only started playing Minecraft. I played Minecraft a little later than everyone else. I'm on
I did too
1.8.
because my
I
parents
started
didn't
playing
let me
like
play it.
2014, 2013. Because my dad was also exploring like how it could be used for education and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because Minecraft EDU the amount of people who don't know what Minecraft EDU is sad.
I don't know. I never used it.
Oh, I was like, what is that? I know what it is.
But you know of it at least.
I do know of it.
Yeah.
That's better than most people.
I
You don't even know it exists.
I still don't believe anyone actually used Minecraft Education Edition.
I
No
did.
way. You did?
I did.
That's
My dad
crazy.
did. There's a summer program. There's a ton of stuff on it.
When I was talking about like things that I do not, or things that people don't really. Hold on, is my connection still fine?
Yeah.
All right, sorry, you guys were being very quiet.
Because we were listening to you and what you had to say.
Sorry, I was just like watching the thing and I was
You were
like,
being respected.
I was being respected. I appreciate that. On a stream yesterday, I mentioned Playmobil.
Oh god, yeah. No, there's people who don't know that.
And they didn't know what Playmobil was, and I was like, sure, Lego was bigger, and
I was
still
having
bigger.
an aneurysm when I heard that. I was like, what?
Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. What is Playmobil?
Oh my god,
Yeah, I'll probably know it once you describe it. But I just don't know the name because I usually don't know names.
It's kind of hard to describe. It's like little plastic sets that are like houses or like structures And they have the little
I'm looking it
plastic
up.
people. I was gonna say, if you look up Playmobil, you'll find like the first thing you'll probably find are Playmobil people. They have a very distinct design.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think I ever saw this
Really?
as a kid. No, I don't remember these.
What?
We did not have a lot of like Playmobil sets, but we had a lot of Playmobil figures growing up.
No, yeah, I didn't. I never saw these things ever. I did. I did play a lot of marble tracks as a kid.
Hmm.
That's all I remember. I don't know.
That's all
Fossils.
you remember.
Fossils and archaeology in general.
Asterisk.
Asterisk archaeology. Something that I thought about that is interesting, and is not technically a fossil, but fits along the same lines, is like bugs preserved in amber.
Oh yeah.
Um, I was
Mm.
like doing some light brainstorming for things that we could talk about fossils, because I am not surprised that we could not get an entire episode only out of fossils with how little Cosmo and I both know about it.
That is true.
But I was thinking like amber, and I saw a picture recently of like an entire lizard encased in amber. So people think like,
Wow.
oh, bugs caught in amber. But there were
Mhm.
lizards, there were probably not small dinosaurs.
A loss.
But
There's a
I
lot of stuff.
wonder if
But-
we purposely encase stuff in amber, if it'll work.
What do you mean it'll work?
Like it'll like stay for a while.
I mean, it's the same concept as resin.
That's true.
Yeah, like I've done resin stuff before. I have a resin bug made by someone.
Yeah, my brother had a couple of those.
People dig up resin.
We had
Cats.
resin bug marbles even.
Yeah.
Wow, fancy.
I've seen a
Yeah.
video where someone encased a like McDonald's burger in resin.
Was that the one that they buried in their backyard?
I'm not sure.
The thing that I was thinking about is the people who were trying to preserve a pumpkin. So they encased a pumpkin in resin a couple of times, a couple of different ways.
I think I saw that one too.
Yeah. And like one of them was just turned to mush and was like full of liquid and was just super icky.
Oh god.
If you don't do it properly, that does happen. You need to fully desiccate the bug, dry it out.
Yeah. Well, that's a lot
There's a
easier
lot
with a
of stuff
bug
in
than it is with a
process to it.
pumpkin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pumpkins are a horrible idea to do for resin.
Well, they were just it wasn't because they actually wanted to preserve a pumpkin. I mean, it was, but it was because they
Well,
wanted.
I think I've seen the video you're talking about too.
Yeah, it was more it was more experimental than it was like, oh, we actually need to preserve this.
Yeah.
It's a life and death scenario. If you
a
don't
life and death
preserve this pumpkin in resin, the world will end in 100 years.
You have 100
Oh,
years to perfect your
really?
technique.
No, pumpkins will disappear in 50 years.
I mean,
we'll need them back.
oh
in the
no.
next 50.
No more whatchamacallit. You could tell I'm uncaring.
I just got a couple ideas for topics.
But yeah. A lot of stuff
What was
is
the other one I thought of?
interesting, so to speak.
Alright. Just needed to write those down.
What time? We've been doing this for about an hour, right? Right?
44 minutes.
Oh, fuck my connection.
Oh, bye.
44 minutes.
I'm back.
It might be a shorter episode,
Welcome back.
honestly. It is our first episode back, so it's okay if it's a bit shorter.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah, I was really doubting that we were going to get a full hour-long episode out of just
Oh, definitely, mate. I don't
Fossils.
think that was gonna happen at all.
no. Again,
That's fine.
I already said this, but especially with how little Cosmo and I know about fossils.
Fossils.
I'm fine ending it a little early.
I don't mind ending a little early either.
Cat.
Cat.
Yeah. I think we could call it here.
All right, you got to do the outro. Well, you got to pick somebody. No, the other person does the outro. God, I haven't run this in forever.
Cosmo.
Uh,
Because you did last time, Ren.
Yeah.
so I'm next.
You're next. You get to do the outro.
I'm next on the chopping block.
You're next on the chopping block. You're getting chopped, buddy.
Oh God! Well,
Cheap.
while I go to the gallows, I guess, and the goddamn guillotine. That was off topic for you guys. We really deviated from Fossil. We actually changed the theme midway, which is probably the most off topic we've ever done. So see you guys. And I'm gonna get guillotined now.
A chunk.